My dear colleagues, this is an orientation regarding how postal ballots scrutiny has to be done at our regional headquarters. As you know, the voters who do not belong to any polling booth are given postal ballots, whether they are within India or outside India. All the voters who belong to outside India, whose professional address is there outside India, they are given the postal ballot of the region in which their professional address is there in our record, that is India address is there. So when it comes to postal ballots, all these postal ballots by a specified date are received in Delhi, and at the time of counting, that is one day before the counting date, which is 16th of December, this will be brought to the regional officers and the scrutiny will start. Let me now explain to you how the postal ballot scrutiny has to be done by officers. First of all, have a team of 2 people in one team and have as many teams as possible, minimum 6 to 10 teams, depending upon the number of postal ballots that belong to your own region. First thing that has to be seen in this postal ballot scrutiny is whether these postal ballots are come in a bunch. By bunch, I will explain what I mean. All these postal ballots to the India voters have been sent in an envelope which is pre-stamped. The voter is supposed to mark his ballot and then send back the envelope by speed post to us if he belongs to India, and if he belongs to outside India, he is supposed to send it back to us in the envelope which is sent to him. But here in this case it is not pre-stamped. He has to send it back to us by registered post, speed post or ordinary post. In case of domestic voters, he is supposed to send it back by registered speed post only, because it is pre-stamped as per the registered speed post rates. Courier is not acceptable, hand delivery is not acceptable, whether it comes to domestic voters or it comes to overseas voters. Now when I say bunch, why we see whether it is received in a bunch is, first thing, if it is put in a bunch and put in one envelope, it will not be possible for us to know from which destination it has been posted. That is number one. Secondly, whether the voter had independence of mind, that is, whether there was secrecy followed while marking the ballots, marking his preferences, that will not be known. So therefore, as per Schedule 7, which is part of our rules, that is Chartered Accountant Election to the Council Rules 2006, Schedule 7, ballots received in a bunch are to be discarded. Now, after we discard ballots received by bunch, now we take up ballots one by one. From Delhi, you will see that all the ballot papers will be numbered. We will put a number and circle it. Suppose, for example, in your region there are 300 voters, 300 postal ballots received. The number of ballot papers may be much more, but we are only here on how many have been received back by us before the specified date and time. Suppose 300 have been received. Now what do? We make it in a group of 25 ballot papers, which means 12 teams. We will require 12 teams, or if you do not have 12 teams, have 6 teams, make them do the second round also. So 2 people you assign for each team and give them 25, a lot of 25 postal ballots, serial number 1 to 25. To the second team of 2 people, give them 26 to 50. Third team 51 to 75, and so on. And suppose you are able to manage only 4 or 5 teams, because we understand there is shortage of staff. In that case, they can do the second round and third round and finish it off. Postal ballot scrutiny has also to start at 10 a.m. on 16th of December, right at the time when the ballot boxes have to be opened. Both have to be done simultaneously. Since postal ballot is a soft work, we employ lady officials generally for this purpose, and we also employ people who are in relatively senior position. The discretion is with the local regional headquarter head as to how you will allocate the duties. Now, as I said, first thing that has to be seen is whether received in bunch. This has to be discarded. Second thing which has to be seen is, before opening the envelopes, the postal ballots pass through 2 major scrutiny. One is whether the envelope is capable of being reckoned, and whether the ballot paper found inside is capable of being reckoned. First we take envelope. First thing that has to be seen in the envelope is whether the reverse of the envelope has the signature of voter. If it is there, it is to be reckoned. There is a form, I show you this form. This first column is envelope number. So suppose my team has been given envelope number 1 to 25. I will write envelope 1 in the first row. Then it says whether outer envelope is signed. If it is signed, I will say yes. If it is not signed, I will say no. Then secondly, I have to see whether this envelope signature tallies with the signature of the voter which is in the record of ICI. For this purpose, we will give you signature of all the postal voters of your region, their photograph, their address to you in a booklet. That has to be seen and checked whether signature tallies. If it tallies, take a flag, stick it on that particular page, because this will be checked by a scrutinizer thereafter. Suppose the signature does not tally, then you have to find out alternate signatures which will be there in the member file or the firm file. So therefore, your member section people will have to be alert and available at the place, at the counting center, with all the files of members to scrutiny this. If it passes, if the signature also tallies, include that envelope. Otherwise, exclude the envelope. Second thing to be seen, whether if it is an India voter, whether it has been posted by speed post. If yes, write yes. Next column. Otherwise, ignore. If it is come to you by ordinary post or by courier, write it there. That courier ordinary post. This envelope has not to be opened, discarded. If it is a foreign voter, then see whether it is ordinary post, registered post or speed post. If it is courier, in case of foreign voter, sometimes it becomes difficult to find out whether it is a courier or not. If it is FedEx or if it is Skypack, the name of the company itself written there and you can make out that it is courier, disregard it. Now, one very important point to be noted is why we are insisting that it should be sent by registered post and speed post only, because we reimburse this amount to all the voters, foreign voters. We make the adjustment in the next year's membership fees. And for domestic voters, we pre-stamp it. So a voter is not required to spend any money. So therefore, he is supposed to send it in the same mode that he is expected to send. If it has come by any other mode than speed post in case of domestic, or speed post, registered post, ordinary post, in case of foreign, you have to write it. This will be discarded. Another thing, in case of domestic voters, we have to see whether it has come from the place where it was sent. That is, if we are sent to a place X, this should have been posted from the place X only. For that, we read the name of the place in the postal stamp. If it is readable, it is fine. If it is not readable, we try to see the pin code number, which is affixed. If the pin code tallies, it's fine. If the pin code does not tally, there is a minor variation. Then we allow the variation to the extent of first 3 digits should tally. That is, if the postal ballot has been sent to say 572001, it should have come from 572 something something, fine, we can include. If it is not 572 but 571 or 573 or something else, discarded. It means the postal zone itself is different. District itself is different. State may also be different. So we totally discard it. In case of foreign voters, we see whether it has come from the same country. He could post it from some other city, but the country should be the same. If it passes through all these tests, then that envelope is opened at this stage. After we open the envelope, first thing we see is whether there are 2 declaration forms available. One for CC ballot, one for RC ballot. A declaration form is one where a voter says that I cast this vote when nobody was present, and he puts his signature. So whether these 2 declaration forms are there, if yes, write there yes. If for CC only it is there, write under CC it is there. If it is for RC only it is there, write RC only there. Now see whether signature is there. And when the signature is also there, see whether it tallies. Again, with the same register where you put the flag, you tally the signature. If it doesn't tally, have an alternative record. Tally from there. If it tallies, then see whether ballot papers are there in the envelope. One for CC, one for RC. If it is there, include them. If one of them is not there, don't include them and fill up the column accordingly. And then write your opinion. If you are not including something, write your opinion and put your signature. Like that, 1 to 25, one person will fill 1 to 25, another person will 26 to 50, like that it goes on. This is how scrutiny has to be done. Thank you so very much.